I got a night cleaning job in a hospital, and the first rule said, if you see a patient standing in the hallway, don't talk to him, because patients here don't stand. Welcome to SeanChai Stories. I am your host, Kirstian. My name is Ahan. I was broke, like zero balance broke, rent pending, phone bills screaming, and I was so desperate for a job that I accepted something I normally wouldn't, a night cleaning job in a hospital, MMM. They called it Ward 6. The manager didn't even interview me properly. No questions about experience, no training, nothing. He just looked at me once and said, "Congratulations, you got the night cleaning job at Ward 6. Your shift starts at 11 p.m. I smiled like an idiot, because in my mind, money was finally coming. But then his smile dropped, like someone turned off a switch inside him. He leaned forward and whispered, "But before you begin, you must follow these rules." He pulled out a paper, old, folded, stained. The corners were dark, as if they had absorbed years of dirt, or worse. He placed it in my hand like it was a curse. "Read it carefully," he said. "If you do well on your first night, you'll get double salary." The paper had 6 rules. Rule 1, if you see a patient standing in the hallway at night, do not ask anything. Patients don't stand here. Rule 2, at exactly 12:24 a.m., the heartbeat monitor in room 12 will beep once. Do not look inside the room. Rule 3, if the lift opens on its own and the floor number shows 0, step back. That floor doesn't exist. Rule 4, if you hear someone whisper, "Help me," from the washroom, do not enter. Just lock it from outside. Rule 5, if you find wet footprints behind you, stop moving. If you run, it will chase faster. And then there were 2 more rules that were written in darker ink, like someone added them later. Rule 6, if you see a nurse with no face pushing an empty wheelchair, do not look at the wheelchair seat. Walk away slowly. Rule 7, if you hear your own name being called from the end of the corridor, do not answer, even if the voice sounds like your mother. My throat went dry. I looked up at the manager, forcing a smile. "This is for staff discipline, right?" He didn't reply. He just nodded toward the door. "Congratulations," he said again, like a machine. "Your first night starts from tonight. At 10:55 p.m., I walked into Ward 6 with a mop in my hand and fear in my chest. The ward was too quiet. Hospitals are never quiet. Even at night, there's always something. Footsteps, machines, nurses, patients coughing. But Ward 6 felt like it wasn't a hospital. It felt like a place the world forgot. The tube lights above flickered like they were tired of existing. I took one deep breath. Just clean, get paid, leave. That's what I told myself. At exactly 11 p.m., the door behind me closed on its own. Not slammed, not pushed, just closed. And the sound echoed for way too low. I turned back quickly. The handle wasn't moving. I tried to open it. Locked. I laughed again, nervous. Okay, staff prank. Chill. But then I saw something. A sign on the wall that I hadn't noticed before. Ward 6, night staff only. And below it, in smaller letters, do not speak to patients after 11 p.m. My smile disappeared. I opened my cleaning cart. I had bleach, broom, mop, spray. I decided to clean from the entrance corridor first. Just a simple hallway. Nothing can happen in a hallway, right? Wrong. As I was mopping near room 8, I felt it. That feeling that someone is watching me. I slowly lifted my head, and I froze. A patient was standing at the end of the hallway, still not moving. He wore a hospital gown, bare feet. His head was tilted slightly like a doll placed wrong. And the worst part? He wasn't looking at me. He was looking through me. My heart started pounding. Rule 1 flashed in my mind. If you see a patient standing in the hallway, do not ask anything. My mouth was dry, but still I almost spoke. Almost. Then the patient suddenly turned his head toward me. Not slowly, not normally. His neck snapped like a broken bone. I tried to focus on cleaning. I kept repeating in my head, follow the rules, follow the rules, follow the rules. I cleaned room 9's entrance. Nothing. Room 10's door was slightly open. I looked away. I cleaned near room 11. Then I heard it beep. A single beep. The sound felt louder than it should. I checked the time on my phone. 12:24 a.m. My blood ran cold. Rule 2. Room 12. I slowly turned my face away from room 12's door. But the beep came again. Number, not a beep. It was like a heartbeat monitor was calling me, begging me. The glass window on room 12 door reflected a faint red light. My body moved slightly on its own, like my eyes wanted to look, but I squeezed my eyes shut. I backed away. Then the hallway lights flickered violently, and the beep stopped. Silence returned. I opened my eyes again. Room 12, but I felt something. Like something inside the room was disappointed. Like I refused to feed it. I went to throw garbage bags near the lift. The elevator doors were closed. I pressed the button. Nothing happened. I pressed again. Still nothing. I muttered, of course. And then, ding. The lift opened on its own. I didn't press anything. The air that came out was cold. Not a sea cold. Dead cold. I looked up at the display. My stomach dropped. Rule 3. If the lift opens on its own and it shows 0, step back. My feet moved back instantly. And that's when I saw it. Inside the lift, there was someone standing, but only their feet were visible. Like the light refused to go higher. Bare feet, wet, and the water was dripping onto the elevator floor. Drip, drip, drip. I stepped back more. Then the person took one step forward. The elevator doors stayed open. The display kept showing 0. I felt like I was staring into a mouth that wanted to swallow me. I turned away fast. I walked off. Behind me, the elevator doors closed slowly. No ding, no normal sound, just darkness closing. When I reached the washroom area, I smelled something disgusting, like rotting water. The washroom door was half open, and from inside, I heard it. A whisper. Help me! I froze completely. Rule 4. If you hear someone whisper, help me from the washroom, do not enter. Just lock it from outside. The whisper came again. Help me, please. It sounded like a child this time. My chest tightened. I wanted to help, but the rules were clear. I took the key. I locked the washroom from outside. Immediately the whisper stopped. Then something banged the door from inside. Bam! I jumped back. Then again. Bam! The entire door shook. Then the banging became scratching, like nails trying to break through. Then silence. I backed away without looking. My hands were sweating. My legs were numb. This is not a job. This is a test. I decided to finish quickly. Just clean what I can. Get out at morning. No more exploring. No more curiosity. But then, I saw something on the floor. Wet footprints, right behind me. Fresh, like someone just walked there. But I didn't hear footsteps. I didn't hear anything. Rule 5. If you find wet footprints behind you, stop moving. I stopped instantly. I didn't even blink. The footprints slowly appeared closer, one by one, as if something invisible was walking toward me. My heartbeat was loud in my ears. The air behind me got colder, so cold that my neck hair stood up. And then I heard breathing right behind my ear, slow, heavy, wet. I wanted to scream. I wanted to run, but Rule 5 screamed louder. If you run, it will chase faster. So I stayed still, my whole body shaking. The breathing came closer. Then I felt something brush my shoulder, like fingers, cold fingers. I bit my lips so hard it hurt. Then it whispered. Not help me, not my name. It whispered, you looked before. I didn't understand. Then it laughed softly, and the wet footprints stopped. The air warmed slightly. The presence disappeared. I almost collapsed. Then I remembered the extra rules. Rules 6 and 7, and I prayed they would never happen. But prayers don't work in Ward 6. Like someone had been sitting there, and something dark was soaking into it. The faceless nurse stopped right beside me. She tilted her head, and then I heard it. A voice from the wheelchair seat, not from her mouth, from the seat itself. It whispered, sit. My legs almost gave up. I stepped back slowly. 1 step, 2. The nurse didn't move. Then she pushed the wheelchair forward by itself, like it was alive. I turned and walked away fast, but not running, not running. Then I heard something that destroyed me completely. A voice from the end of the corridor, a familiar voice. Ayan. My stomach twisted, because that voice, it was my mother's voice, soft, worried. Ayan Beta, where are you? Come here. Rule 7. If you hear your own name being called, do not answer. But my eyes filled with tears instantly, because I missed her. I was away from home. I was lonely. I was tired. And that voice sounded so real, so loving. Ayan, come here. I brought food for you. I swallowed hard. I didn't answer. I held my breath. Then the voice changed. It became deeper, angry. Ayan, answer me. The lights flickered violently again. The temperature dropped, and I heard footsteps running toward me. Fast. Barefoot footsteps. I didn't look. I didn't answer. I just walked faster. Then the voice started screaming. Not like my mother, like something pretending to be her. Look at me! The screaming echoed in the whole ward, and suddenly everything stopped. Silence. No footsteps, no voice. I stood there shaking. Then I heard a soft beep. Not from room 12, from behind me. I turned slightly, and the corridor behind me was filled with wet footprints. Thousands, like an army. And at the end, the elevator doors opened again. Display showing. 0, I ran. I didn't care about Rule 5 anymore. I ran toward the entrance door. I pulled the handle. It opened. I fell outside. I didn't stop. I kept running until I reached the main hospital area. There were normal nurses, normal patients, normal lights. I looked back. Ward 6 door was there. Closed. Normal. Like nothing happened. I went to the manager's office. I slammed the rules paper on his table. This is insane. What is this place? He looked at the paper. Then he looked at me. And for the first time, his eyes showed emotion. Fear. He whispered, "You broke Rule 5, didn't you?" I swallowed. "Yes, I ran." The manager closed his eyes slowly. Then he said something that killed my soul. "Ayan, there is no Rule 5. My blood turned to ice. "What?" He pulled out another paper. The real list. It had only 4 rules. No wet footprints rule. No faceless nurse. No calling your name. I couldn't breathe. He stared at me and said, "Those rules appear only when Ward 6 accepts you." I whispered, "So, what does that mean?" He leaned forward and said softly, "It means you're not cleaning the ward anymore." I stared. Then I asked, "Then what am I doing?" The manager smiled sadly. You're replacing the last cleaner. I didn't understand until I looked down at my hands. They were wet, and the water wasn't water. It was dark, sticky. I turned my head slowly, and in the reflection of the glass window, I saw myself. But behind me, there was someone else standing, a patient in a hospital gown, head tilted, smiling, and he whispered, "Congratulations, your first night begins now." If you want part 2 where I reveal what happens on the second night, comment Ward 6 and don't take night jobs in hospitals, because some wards don't treat patients, they collect them.